feet in.
Hey.
Oh, what do we got going on out here? Got Michael here. Hey, Michael. So, yeah, this happened last Tuesday too. When I was out there working so hard, I forgot to
put out your notice.
Put out a reminder notice to everybody. It's okay. We'll see who shows up and who wants to learn about wildfires and what you can and can't do and what you should do.
Opening a can of Mountain Dew and peeing on a forest fire isn't going to do any good, folks.
No. No. Unless
there's nobody here to hear that either, so we're good.
What do you mean? Michael's here.
Yeah, he forgot to put it out, Michael.
Yeah, I forgot to put out the. Usually about noon, I'll try to put one out, but I was out on the Bobcat, just going full bore at $215 a day rental. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get as much of it done as I can. All righty, let's see. Anybody else popping in here?
Nope. Just 2 with 3 thumbs up. How'd that work?
I don't know. Someone gave me a thumbs up and hopped out.
Yeah. Oh well.
So let me check something else out over here. And yeah, YouTube is running real slow.
Yes, it is.
So Southern Blessed went live again with their 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Yeah.
But still hasn't. I haven't gotten my email saying that I'm live.
I got a notice. YouTube notice you were live.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one on my main channel. My main email. Let me check my other one here. Oh, yeah, it has it on my other one.
I'm going to have a talk with Mouse. Ground beef cornbread casserole, aka tamale pie.
That sounds so good.
Yes, it does.
There we go. Bing. So we're going to be talking about wildfires here. And wow.
You want to make your appearance, Titan? You want to say hi? Want to say hi, everybody?
Oh, that's interesting. Got an email pop up here from the My Federal Retirement newsletter.
You are now broke.
Union calls for extending the tax deadline to October 15th. Hey, ours is in and we already got our refund.
I didn't get one.
Well, while we're waiting, I'm just going to go ahead and run.
Yep, just run with it. Dang, Michael, that's expensive. $8 a pound for beef. Ouch.
Okay, I'm definitely going to tell my wife we are buying a cow from Brandon. He said he'd sell it to me at $1.25 per pound weigh out. And he says on a 1,000-pound steer, usually get about 550 pounds of meat.
Usable meat.
That's still only $2.50 a pound, if that.
Mm-hmm. And if you can find somebody to split it with you.
Yeah. Heck no. What's going on? I want to go get a couple more chest freezers and put it all in the chest freezers, and then start doing what Pennsylvania Prepper did and run it through. Get a freeze dryer and run it through the freeze dryer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's come on. Where are we going here? There we go. And let's start this. Okay, now that's a fire in the background there.
Looks like the fires a year or two ago from California.
This is Santa Rosa. This is the Santa Rosa fire where it burnt a good portion of the city. These are all working. This is in the city now.
Excuse me. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a place for an extra freezer.
Yeah.
You know, all that destruction.
Yeah.
And of course, there's people outside with a phone. Hey, check this out, man. Look what's happening next to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have gone beat feet and left. Because
Okay,
fires like
let me
that, they
back
can
this up one.
change. Yeah. Fires like that can change in 30 seconds. They can go from flowing away from you to suddenly engulfing your home.
Yeah. Now, it's heading from right. The fire is heading from right to left. So it caught this other house on fire, which then caught this house on fire, and just started going. There's a dump truck that went up.
An older one at that.
Yeah.
The slide is no longer slidable.
Oh, it is, but it'll stick to you. Okay. Hang on here. Let me back it up one. Yeah. Yep. That flag survived the fire, and the next day it was still flying. I have a picture. I have a picture of someone else took another picture of it a couple days later, and it was still flying.
We are the strong. We are the proud. We are the Americans.
And this is the evacuation areas, and yeah, the red was mandatory. This blue area was advisory because, hey, you're trapped. Get the hell out of there anyways. Because the fire came in from the north and some hot spots came in from this side here. Now, this wasn't just the Santa Rosa fire going on. There was a bigger one over between Atlas and Green Valley that encroached on Fairfield. And later on, it actually got in close to 80 on the Fairfield side. Mm-hmm. And so you had all these other fires going on at the same time. And this one up here by Kirkwood and this one, these three here were caused by embers blowing from that one down here. And this one this one down here at the bottom was caused by embers blowing from this one down here. Yeah.
So much for the home.
These are not individual homes out in the thing. These are these homes.
Yep. An entire community wiped right off the map. And there's people that still don't have a home left to go to years later.
Yeah, some of them didn't have insurance. Here's another area that's totally gone.
Yep, you look a mile off in the distance. Yep.
Burned right up to the city. And this is where people wound up in the shelters.
I cannot live like that.
Did not have a plan. These are all the different shelters from the Santa Rosa fire.
Yeah, I can't live like that. I would go nuts.
Yeah.
I need peace and quiet quite often.
Yeah.
That would not be quiet in any way, shape, or form. Hey, wait a minute. What are they wearing?
What are they wearing? Let's see. They're wearing that's just the
mask.
That's not the N95. That's just the other one.
Why? There's no reason to be wearing a mask
there. This is the N95.
Yeah, but still, it's a mask. It's a mask.
All the ash and stuff is why they're wearing it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, you even got kids wearing
smart
it.
Alec.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a point to it, Michelle. If that happened right now, there'd be huge, huge, huge problems. So you need to have a plan in advance.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I've been doing some checking, and I told my team to get ready for a big fire season this year, early fire season too.
Mhm.
We're getting a lot of areas are getting rained on. In another month, the rain's going to stop, and guess what we're going to get? Tons of growth. That was Northern California. Now we're going to look at Southern California. Okay,
Gee, it's like a desert.
this area here is all burnt out. I mean, you can see the flames there. You know, you see the burnout area from the set, and look at you can actually see the flames from the satellites. It's how big the flames were. Look at that.
Hey, Joe Hodek. Hey, Glock.
Yeah. And you look at the. Let me go back one there.
Ooh.
Look at that smoke going out. That's what Australia looked like last year.
All right, one sec. Hey, Joe Hodek, do you know which dam failed in central Michigan? Because I haven't gotten no word on it, and that's where I've got friends living.
Oh boy.
I mean, there's not too many big dams up there.
Yeah. And you know what's so scary going on in California? When this just before the year before this that the Santa Rosa fire was, the Oroville Dam almost failed. It had a crack in it had so much rain the overflow was going, and it had a crack in it, and it washed out the overflow and started eating into the dam. And it's just an earthen dam. $250-acre fire in New Jersey. Oh, wow. Let me go ahead and start this up again. So this is Southern California. Those of you just joining us in 2017. These are the burn areas. You can actually see the flames up here. And that escape was that. That was 2017 fires in.
Hey, B2E.
Okay, now where was that dam in central Michigan? Wow. Let me pull this over here, and I'm going to do a little Google search for everybody here.
Well, I can do that while you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
That way you don't go turn into Mr. Roboto.
Roboto. You mean the max headroom? Yeah, and right now, what stuff I've been checking on. This is why I decided to fire this one out here, because several other areas of the country look ripe for a early fire season. We got a lot of rain going on in a lot of parts of the country. There's going to be a lot of brush growth and grass growth going on as soon as it stops and it warms up. And some areas are just going to be, the local governments aren't going to be able to keep up with the weed abatement.
All right, the dam is in Edenville.
Okay.
And that's a ways from my friends. Quite a ways, actually. But here, I'll share it so you can. Wrong page. Let's see if I can turn into Mr. Roboto.
No, hey, Jehodak, that's exactly what this is all about. Emergencies. We were talking about the wildfires. Well, after a wildfire, rains turn into floods and cause problems and everything else too.
There's a map of where Edenville is.
And everything's slow, waiting for it to come up. There it is.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, there's the dam.
Yeah, my friends live over here in Mount Pleasant, north of Wademan.
Okay, so that's can you enlarge that just a little bit? One click.
What are you
Okay.
looking for?
Okay, yeah. So it's going to go on down to Stanford and then flow on over towards
Oh, yeah.
Midland.
Yep.
All right, and then back it out at 2 clicks. Okay. All right.
You see, my friends live over here in Barton, Wademan, Mount Pleasant, and Shepherd.
Okay. I take it that this
It's all gonna flow
that
back
green
over here.
area is all agriculture area around it.
That's forest area.
Forest area.
All forest.
Okay. Sorry about the cough, guys. I've been out working the last 2 days on a bobcat out there, and it's even with the filters on the filters on it, there's still dust making its way into the cab with me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right, enough of that.
Okay. So, anyways, one of the things that has me worried specifically is Montana has reached the point again for several wildfires like it had 13 years ago, where almost the entire state, everything was on fire outside of urban areas. And I know right now Michigan has a was it here has a quarantine going on for the pine chute beetle. It's been going on for 5 years. It's found in over 70 counties in Michigan. And where's the other data here? Since 2015, 20 million forest acres have been from the beetle.
Right. Glock, no, it is not near Sault Ste. Marie. It is about 2.5 to 3 hours south of Sault Ste. Marie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they're also, and now the beach, and now they're also getting beach scale and beach bark disease as well for the pine trees and the beech trees. And yeah, so Michigan is looking like it's about ready for another go at it.
Season.
And then Florida, it's been quite a few. I can't remember when Florida's last one was.
If Fishes was here, she could tell us.
Yes,
but Fishes is not here.
But I know it's been a few years since Florida has had a big fire out there in the glades and stuff. But then there's other areas too. I mean, even though California's burnt severely for the last, the great Governor Nuisance is cutting first responders, including firefighters, on the next budget. Cutting, they're going to be the ones feeling the hit, and that's so he can hire COVID trackers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That, and along with the fact that that wonderful, colorful state with a city of a name that actually doesn't match the city itself. Well, yeah, it does. City of Lost Angels. Yeah, they're all lost. That, and then what was it? Two or three other states asked for $7 trillion. Not billion, trillion. To help them recover from the losses they have suffered during this situation.
Yeah. Hey, Will. Yeah. So let me throw up I should have put this other one up here at the screen. There we go. So here's several articles on the pine chute beetle going on compliance for Michigan, and talking about the pine beetle and also the beetles, the budworms. They're just devastating Michigan right now, and that's going to make it a tinderbox ready to go up.
Yep, it's been a few years.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I should keep my mouth shut. I don't know nothing.
So
what? Huh?
Alrighty, and so
No, you
there
don't.
there are several states that are really prime target. California again. There's still areas in California which have not been. They have not done any. They did not do any controlled burns in October and November when they should have,
Stop before you lose it.
and they're not doing any controlled burns now. And so California's going to go for year 4 again, I believe. This because I've been tracking the areas that have burned and the areas that haven't burned, and they're not the areas that haven't burned that were right next to the areas that did burn. They're not taking care of them as far as the stuff. Actually, WD for California, most of the areas that burned were state controlled, and they've had a screwed up management program in place that is so entrenched that they can't get any changes done to it because people are afraid of make changes, then they're gonna eliminate my position, so we're not gonna make the changes.
Time to take your vitamin D, folks, and to hydrate.
Yeah. And so, but I know up in Montana, it's been about 13 years since that whole state went up in flames.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was the largest, what's called a complex incident command structure setup that has ever been set up in the United States. Was that one? And a complex one is you got your standard one, and they go up in scales. When it gets to complex, you have several other major ones going on, and they bring everything in under one director to run it all, and he allocates supplies to who needs them the most and coordinates everything between the different fires going on to control it.
Oh, don't say that too loud there, Glock and Roll. You'll have a bunch of tree huggers in here giving him all kinds of fits.
What am I doing to protect my trees? I'm planting trees. I'm going to be planting a bunch of trees. There's only 2 big trees on the property, and there is the one of it has been all cleaned out underneath, and it's all nice mowed grass. The other one, just we've been pruning the lilacs back away from it, and right now they're in beautiful bloom. Some are white lilacs, and some are purple lilacs. But on the one side, I had the Bobcat I rented yesterday, the track loader. I took the bucket. It came with instead of the bucket, it came with the big rotavator on it. And on the one side, I ran it on the one side, and I went around and I ran it on another side. So I got the north side and the east side done, and you got 2 lines of lilacs going up to it, and then the other area in between the lilacs there is grass area. So those are protected, and then we're
built-in fire break.
Anytime one of my trees comes down with any sorts of bug disease or whatever, zip, it's gone into the fire along with all the pests that have bored into it. Though I do have one big, I think it's mockingbird, the blackbird with the white on its wings.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I've made a huge nest up in it, so I gotta next week go climb the tree with my climbing gear on and tear that nest apart and get it out of the tree.
Aw. You home wrecker, you.
That's right. Because in one of the other trees that they built the nest into, I was supposed to get at this spring. One of the branches they built into the fork on it, on aspen, is dead down 3 feet below it. So I got to go up there and cut that out. What trees am I planting? Let me pull it back up here. Where is it?
You've already made most of it. Just
okay, so this line here was where the irrigation ditch used to go. This is where I just finished putting it in this year, a couple weeks ago, underground. We have one walnut in the ground, 2 honey crisps, a golden delicious, and a pippin apple, and 1 apricot up here.
So that's where my sugar smacks comes from. Trees.
I got 3 more apricots I'm going to put in, 2 more apples. One's going to be a Fuji. The other one's going to be a Granny Smith. Going to put in a couple of pear trees, plum, 2 peach trees, 2 nectarines, 2 cherries. And then my wife gets to pick out the other 4 nut trees that she wants to put in.
You're not going to, you will get nothing if you plant me in the ground. It went right over his head, folks.
No, I'm just. Does that mean if I plant a $20 bill, I'm not going to get a money tree?
Yeah, I tried that a long time ago. I even went back to try and dig the $20 bill back up, and it was gone already.
Yeah. So, yeah. So those are the trees. Now, since I've been doing all the work out there, especially with the bobcat, the area along here, I'd pushed a lot of this dirt out here up with the D5 dozer several years ago, and made a big old wide pathway up here, raised, because that was open trench for last year. So I'm digging everything out except for what is a foot of what's covering the irrigation pipe, and I actually moved the pipe closer to the fence, so I didn't have to worry about it, leaking out and flooding out the neighbors. So I got a whole bunch. What was that?
I was just going to respond to Michelle. There is no clean response to my comment. Planting me in the ground will cause the ground to turn dead.
Dave.
Hey, I admit I'm a
No.
I'm a sour.
I just binge watched at night the last week and a half the Grimm series. Anybody knows the Grimm series about Grimm and stuff? Adeline lost her Hexen Beast powers, and when she was getting them back, she had to bury the parts from another Hexen Beast in the ground. When she did, it like a circle of black death went out and killed all the flowers around it.
That was me.
Anyway, so yeah, so I'm thinking about planting another row along near the pipe, planting ultra dwarf, some ultra dwarf trees there, and on the other side up here, planting some more trees. Possibly, just moving all the nut trees onto the east side of where the pipe is. But yeah, so that's the trees. That's what I'm doing, planting trees. Yeah, I'm leaning over too far this way here. There we go. Not too far. Move it back a little bit. Camera got shifted there. Yeah, it's more in the middle.
Yeah, he's trying to act like me. I'm in the corner of his video.
Yeah. What I want to do is up at the top here. All right, this tree's been pulled out. These briar roses have been pulled out. A couple of these big ugly bushes have been pulled out. But the spacing up here from here to the trees is 50 feet. I want to put a wallapini in across here. I'm having a battle of the budget with the wife.
Happy wife, happy home. You ain't gonna win that battle. Just admit it. Admit it now. Be a man. Suck it up.
Well, she may when she comes up here and I explain I'm able to run actual numbers to her without trying to talk it to her over the phone and put a spreadsheet in front of her face. She may decide to go ahead and pop loose the money to put it in so we can get reimbursed for all of it from the state of Idaho. Anyway. So, but So as I'm taking care of the trees here, I'm pruning all these lilacs back so they can't cause a fire. And you can't see the pine tree that's up in the top here. That's on a different map, I think. Oh, it is. Oh, okay, so here's the big pine tree up here. These have all been pruned way back. These have been pruned way back. This briar rose have all been removed. These old dead trees here that were diseased have been removed. This big one's been removed. That was the big bonfire I had a couple weeks ago. But all the briar rose around here has been pulled out because it was, this briar rose down here caught fire and it scorched the ground so hot that nothing has grown there since for a year and a half.
Glass.
Huh?
You should have put some sand down there when you did that. You could have made glass. Glass the way they used to make it.
But yeah, I was busy spraying water on the side of the shop. But mine's being well taken care of. We're going to be planting another one of these big trees. We're going to plant another one over here, and another one over in this corner here.
And then you build a tree house in it for your watchmen to have proper angles of observation.
That's what this one's for, and this one's for. This is my wife and I were climbing up in this one last year with the chainsaw, cutting out limbs to try to cut the ends off because it was really starting to creak and crack, and we removed a bunch of them to keep it from coming down and cleared it out so the wind could blow through it and not bend it over. But yeah. Oh yeah. Depending on the nut trees, some nut trees can survive very well up here. The walnut tree did great last year. It's all green and it's popping out. The walnut tree right here, it's got all its buds on it and it's doing fine. Now macadamia nuts, no, not so much. I believe that Brazil nuts won't make it. Brazil nuts won't make it. Cashews won't make it. Almonds will make it. And I forget the other type nut that,
Standard peanuts won't make it because their growing season is not long enough.
And they're in the ground anyways. They'll make it in a Willapina though. A Willapina.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, so that's what I'm doing for mine. It's really cool. And what you can't see here on this, let's see if we'll go all the way over here. Okay, it doesn't. It cuts it off. Right here, you can barely see the roadway right here. Here's a roadway here, and 15 feet on the other side of the roadway is a 20-foot wide irrigation ditch. So I got fire protection from that side.
Yep, built-in fire break.
And then there is another. So what is how far up on that one? Actually, that's on the other side. There's a big field out there that the Idaho Supreme has planted alfalfa in. And then on the other side of that is another bigger, I think it's about 30-foot wide irrigation ditch. And then the railroad tracks. But
another tree you might want to think about planting. It's not a tree that's mentioned very often.
What?
Beech nut.
Beech nut?
Yep, it'll survive. It survives in Michigan with no problem. And the nuts are actually good.
I'll have to talk to my wife and see if.
Because when I was a kid walking through the forests of Michigan, central Michigan, me and the other kids, we'd always pick up beech nuts, and that would be our trail snack.
Yeah. Jehoiadak, this walnut tree is one from California. Across the street from us, there are 3 English walnut trees with black walnut tree stumps on them. Trunks. They've grafted it onto the black walnut. I'm not sure, and there are a couple of the black walnut limbs have grown back up in it. So you got a mixture of black walnut and English. I'm not sure what type it is because the friggin' squirrels go across the power line, down the pole, into those trees, and bring nuts back through our property into the neighbor's property, and they're always burying them in my wife's garden. And also we get
just trying to help.
There's a new tree, and so She saved one of them. I'm thinking because the way it looks that it's going to be English.
You do realize black walnut trees are highly prized for woodcrafters.
Oh yeah. And so yeah, so I'm not sure which one it is. Either one is fine with me. Yes, the black walnut doesn't produce as many nuts as the
Hey,
English
Howie.
does, but it's I don't eat nuts, but my wife wants some, just enough to make fudge. And besides that, anything that she doesn't use for making fudge and stuff, we're given to the neighbor across the street to the north of us. He has hogs over there, and the hogs and the walnuts will help kill the parasites in the hogs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they'll love that.
Yeah,
that's like filet mignon to them.
Oh yeah. So let me drop this back out of here.
You walk over to a hog pen with a handful of nuts, and they'll love you forever.
Yeah. So, but the main thing we're talking about is wildfires. And that's in, who was it? It was Cecilia asked me about what I'm doing to protect my trees.
Or bed.
Would you build a large greenhouse for some of your trees? The only trees I'm going to put in the greenhouse, the Wallapini, if I get it built, are going to be citrus.
Oh, come on, get a banana tree.
We'll have to see on that. I don't know if they make ultra dwarf banana trees, but they do make ultra dwarf orange, Meyer lemons, navel orange. I forget the other thing, but anyway, so we would plant several of those in there. So, but as I started mentioning, there's been a lot of extra growth in a lot of states, especially with the rain last year and this year. And a lot of states are not going to have the money for the quote, oh, it's a fluff program to go out and take care of the brush and stuff, and do fire abatement, because they're spending all their money elsewhere, and we're not going to talk about that. But since they're spending so much money elsewhere, some of these states that haven't had fires in a few years that are getting ripe for fires, we may have an early fire season this year. At least that's my thought on it. I could be totally wrong. I hope I am. But it's looking like California's going to have a fourth nasty fire season, because the great Gavin Newsom has said, oh, the first responders are going to be the first ones hit in the budget. And the first ones hit is the state fire service.
Yep.
So, but several other states are really, it's been 13 years since Montana went up. I think it's been about 7 years since Florida had its last big fire. If anybody here knows about Florida's last big fire, I think it's been about 7 years. I'm not sure what's going on up there in Canada as far as fire abatement for wildfire for the wilderness areas.
Hey, Howie, what was that? 2 years ago, they had that big one up near the military base. Was it 2 years ago? Because if I remember correctly, that was in the middle of Canada.
Yeah.
And they had that big one up near the military base up there that took out quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Michigan because of the I just closed that, didn't I? Yeah. The pine shooter beetle, and then the beech trees are getting hit by beech bark disease and some other ones. Birch. That's right, birch. So there's a lot of trees that are getting hit all over the place. And of course, the West had in California, Arizona, Nevada, I'm not sure how well Oregon fared, but the other ones did not get the rainfall in the states they needed. Did not get the rainfall in the West. I know you guys out in the East are getting just deluged. And, we need dry spell. And they're saying they need your rain, but
Yeah, I've had rain now for the last 5 days, and I've got it for the next several days yet. Scanner's been flooded with alert, this road is closed. Alert, this road is closed. All day long. They're still making announcements.
Howie says we just let it burn in as most in the middle of nowhere, comes near property. That gets the smoker sent to the fire. Yeah.
All right, I got to put the brat to bed.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to run this slideshow here again for all you guys that are just, because I ran right at the very beginning and I think there's only 2 people in here for it. So this is the Santa Rosa fire in 2017 in California. This is a shopping center that got burnt down by it. And there was some nice areas out there, houses that were not in the city, but some of these houses are, and you'll see entire, not blocks, neighborhoods totally burnt to the ground when we get into through some of the shots here. If you watch some of the flames in these shots doing funky, wicked stuff, it's really, you can see the flames taking it on a life of its own. Okay, I'm going to stop it here on this one here as soon as it clicks on. Okay. Now this one here, this is where it's going down the street. The fire burnt onto the far right into houses, set one house on fire, set the next house on fire, because it was so hot and there was no water. The fire had taken out the water lines, the power lines, no power to the pumping stations for the water treatment plant, so they had no water pressure in a lot of the areas. So yeah, this is I'm gonna put this flag here that I have somewhere. I have a picture. 2 days later, the flag is still flying. That flag survived. Now in this one here, the red areas here are the mandatory evacuations, so where the areas that were burning around it, and the blue was advisory evacuation. And it's like, yeah, you're surrounded on 2 sides by fire. Get the heck out of there. And these fires here, this was on October 17th, 2017. The fire over here on the far right doubled in size in a day and a half. I mean, it just went down over here and it got close to Fairfield. These 3 fires here in the middle here on the middle left were caused by cinders from the fire up here burning down into Santa Rosa. The fire down at the bottom here by the Carquinez Bridge was caused by cinders from this fire over here. And now we're getting into this is in neighborhoods. This is not an individual house out in the middle of nowhere. This is parts of a neighborhood. Here's the neighborhood. Look at that. And go back to it. And if you look up here, this is the next neighborhood over here, right next to it. It's burnt out too. Yeah, the city park survived, but all the trees around it kind of singed. Going through whole neighborhoods where everything just kind of burnt down. There's another one. It burns all the way back to the accuracy with the buildings that are not burnt. And this is what happened to all those people. They got crammed. If they did not have someplace to go, did not have a plan in place to go someplace, they got crammed into shelters. So this is the aftermath. Yeah, you're right, Howie. So yeah. Yeah, these photos are to get you thinking, so you can see the devastation on people's face. So you just realize that it's not just statistics; it's actually people being affected. Yeah, and that was Northern California. And the same time down in Southern California, the Thomas Fire was off the hook. And from the satellite images, all this area in here is all burnt. And you can see the flames. It's that's how big the fires is going. It already burnt from here up, and here it's burning down and up. Look at that hot spot. And this is putting out smoke like Australia was doing. All righty, so that's that. So my question is to everybody here is, wildfires can happen anywhere. Maybe not with Reed out there in the middle of New Mexico. You look at his shots, it's pretty barren. You could get all those tumbleweeds burning, but it's not going to be quite the same as pine trees and other trees going up in flames and putting off a lot of heat. But there's a lot, these were started out in the middle of nowhere, and they whipped up so fast and were so nasty and to just move with such speed. The one fire was moving at 60 miles an hour, and they were dumping the planes on it. The helicopters dumping water, and they were doing everything they could to slow it down. But yeah, so they can happen anywhere. A lot of states that burn, like I said, Montana, 13 years ago, just about the entire state was on fire. Florida has had some huge, nasty fires down there in Florida. It's not all beach down there.
Jehoiadak, a lot of people left some pets behind.
Yeah. Contra Costa County has a special program. I don't know if you've all heard me talk about the CERT program, the Community Emergency Response Team. Noel Cross and I wrote the addendum for the national program at Contra Costa County. They have 3 trailers set up and volunteer teams to go out and set up kennels and take care of cats, dogs, horses, and other wherever they need to go to. And they activated all 3 of their teams and sent them north to help out. But it's there's we talked about Michigan, is having problems. Other states are having problems with that are having drought. Some of the areas are getting too much rain, and some of the trees that are getting drowned out. There's too much water, and their roots can't take it. Not sure what to say about that, Howie, whether that's going to be a good thing or bad thing. What I want to worry about is what is the fall going to look about?
Hey, Al.
I have a feeling that the fire season is going to start in August and not October. So yeah. But anyways, guys, knowing that a wildfire can happen anywhere, and even though I'm in town, it's not going to get me. Well, you saw Santa Rosa; it took out half the town. or rather half the city. And I've driven through there. It's spread out, and it took out huge, huge neighborhoods upon neighborhood upon neighborhood. Do you guys have a plan written down? Do you have a safe haven to go to, someplace away where you can travel to, where you can, don't have to go stay in a shelter? 2, do you have a communication plan with your family members? Because they had problems up there, and this is what really torques me off with the state of California, and some of the big phone companies have headquarters in California. And guess what they did to the first responders? They shut off or limited their internet access, and they run all the incident command stuff through the internet off the state's program. But because the cities and counties and the state fire thing were all trying to use internet to keep apprised of where things were going, all of a sudden they lost their internet access. And they were saying, and Verizon said, well, we were doing that to everybody because we were getting overloaded. And it's like, no, you were told to disable anybody that is not a first responder internet, and limit phone conversations, limit it to texting if anybody does not have a GITS or WPS plan, which is the wireless priority service thing, which is for companies such as banks and stuff like that, whereas the GITS is for governmental agencies.
Hey, Mama Z.
And so, communications is going to be big during a wildfire. They actually had several of the towers around Santa Rosa got burnt down, which hampered their response. All of a sudden, they lost cell service. So, but you need to have a communications plan with for family members, both immediate family members and family members outside of the area. So, like if you're in Michigan and you got relatives in Wisconsin, you need to set them up as the contact point if a disaster happens in Michigan. So you may not be able to make local calls, but you can make long distance calls. I don't know why it works that way, but that's the way the switching stations, they'll shut down local calls, but you can make long distance calls. Let me pull something up here real quick for you guys. I think I had it in tactical, or I didn't have it in the other one. Here it is right here. Okay, let me bring this up.
All right, Al, take it easy.
Come on, add your stream. There we go. All right, this little item right here. Let me go to it. This is called GoTenna Mesh. It can, if you're within a mile or two, I forget how many miles, did it say more than mile? 4 miles. Okay, it's a 4-mile range. This turns, you have one for each of your people, your family. You get one. They're sold in pairs, though, and you click them all and you link them all together so they can all work. You can still use your cell phones to call family members. You can't call anybody else if the cell towers are down, but you can still call all your family members like a radio, but you don't need a license for it.
Oh, and Steve did a review on one of those, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he did. He went down and
did Iridium 242.
Yeah. So the GoTenna Mesh here comes in 4 colors. You got either the blue and green, or you got the orange and purple, but they can all be linked together onto the same thing. And you can also link with other people to extend ranges and stuff.
Yep, you can daisy chain it to cover multiple miles.
Yes. So that's something. Yes,
relay station.
It is expensive, but you won't have anybody else walking on you while you guys are talking. So that's
And it's
one
very
option.
secure.
Yeah.
Unless they've got your access codes and everything, they cannot get into your conversation.
Right. Now, the only thing it does have that which opens it up to everybody is where you or someone else can do a where is it here? Public emergency broadcasts, and anybody within the area within the communication range of your GoTenna, they will receive your broadcast, your emergency broadcast. So if you're stuck and you can't get out and you're trapped and you need help, you can put out a broadcast like that, and you'll probably pick up someone else and get the message out to other people that have it, and then they can relay it on. But communications is one of the key things you need to have in your plan for wildfires.
And the nice thing is, if your mag or little group or whatever you want to call it can afford it, in a true grid down situation, considering those are rechargeable via USB, which means solar chargers work great, you now have a very secure communication system that people are not going to be able to pick up very quickly.
Yeah.
So you can cover 2-3 miles each direction in a square. So let's see, 18 square miles basically between 4 or 5 people, and have a communications route.
Yep. So, all right. So you need to set, also you need to have a safe haven communications plan. You also need to make it have a twofold plan for, am I sheltering in place or am I bugging out? And you need to look at all the possibilities and go back and look at what happened in Santa Rosa and down in Southern California and some of the other fires and stuff in California and other places where they got fast moving fires, especially when the winds from the desert come in and just whip it to a firestorm.
Now, you got to also remember a couple of other key points here too, is some of them firestorms move faster than your car does. Okay. You get a heavy firestorm going. Remember the firenados? It's 220 mile an hour worth of wind whipping that fire into a circular tornado. And you can't outrun that. So you can't wait to the last possible second and figure, I can outrun it, because you're not going to. Look at those people in Tennessee a couple of years back who waited to the last possible minute and literally had to drive through fires, licking their cars and leaving scorch marks all over their cars trying to get out of where they were at. Some of them didn't make it because they waited too long. Don't wait till the last possible minute. Don't be like Joe Schmo down the block who thinks you're crazy. Be the one who leads the cavalry out of the area.
Yeah, I mean, the fire was burning cars on a 4-lane, 2 lanes each way, plus an ultra wide shoulder over here highway. Yeah, in
Hey,
there.
Ryan.
And let's see here. I have the other ones. I mean, it came in so fast, people had to abandon their cars. They didn't. They just piled in one car and got out of there. And do I have the other one? No, I don't think I have. It's on one of the other slide shows I have. I have one where people are driving through the fire. It's a video clip I have somewhere. The cars are driving, and the fire and the ash and the cinders and the coals are falling on the cars as they're driving by. I should have found that one. I didn't even think about that one until just now. But yeah, you need to, set up a time frame. All right, I can shelter in place until this point. This point, I need to go. And that point needs to take into consideration escape routes, direction fire can travel, and plan out. Okay, fire's coming from the east, fire's coming from the north, fire's coming from the south. Having your plan, write it out of, escape routes for which direction the fire is coming from.
There you go. I shared a picture of it so people can see what it looks like looking out their windshield.
When's it coming up here? It's slow.
Next year.
Yeah, next year.
2,000 years later, it's still not here
All right, there it is.
Isn't that pretty? Can you imagine looking out your windshield and figuring I've got to drive through that? Do you have the backbone to drive through that? Or are you going to get scared?
Yeah. And that was the same thing going on in the
And that
in
was
California.
Tennessee fire.
Yeah. In back way back 30 years ago, 34 years ago, the Oakland Hills fire coming off of Tunnel Road, goes over the cul-de-sac grade there. They found several cars up there. People thought they were escaping, and they drove right into it. And that was it. They did not make it.
And for a first responder, that would be a harrowing sight to see come up, finding the burned out car and then finding burnt skeletons inside it as well.
Yeah. There are like 3 or 4 cars together in one spot on that. So you need to make sure of your escape routes, because you may be here and you have all of a sudden you have a fire to the east, to the northeast, to the north. Oh, there's a fire to the south. Or you could be over here. If you were over here, sorry, let me give me a mark on the right side. If you're over here by Oak Knoll, you got a big old fire on the east of you, and 3 fires to the west of you. Now one's actually kind of to the south. Yeah.
Best thing to do is grab a boat, jump in the creek, and follow the creek down to the lake.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, well, all you can do is hope, pray.
Yeah. That's the thing. You need to have your routes planned out and get one of those NOAA
weather radio.
Yeah, NOAA weather radios. Actually, hang on a second here. Nope. Took it downstairs.
Mine sits next to my bed. That's where it stays.
Yeah, I took it down. I took the extras downstairs. I got 2 extra NOAA weather radios for when we get our other houses built here.
The Bowfangs also have a weather frequency system in them as well.
Yeah.
So if you got a Bowfang, you can get the NOAA weather right here on your Bowfang. This one sits here next to me on the chair. I got a NOAA weather radio upstairs next to my bed.
Yeah.
And I keep those in those places for that very reason, so I know what's going on.
Now, if you have to evacuate to a safe location, a cousin's house, aunt, uncle, a buddy that says, "Hey, yeah, you come on over. We're in a safe zone. We're way outside. Come on over." Food, supplies. You need to have a go bag or several go bags for each member of the family, and you need to have your food supplies. That's why everything in jars is not good. That's why it's good to have some freeze-dried stuff.
Water jugs as well.
Yeah, to be able to and go. So now, if you saw my my video on the cheap, simple water filter I have, I'm using a 5-gallon bucket. You can pack that bucket full of dehydrated food and stuff, and that's your grab bucket. Once you get there, you have a water source. You got a water container. If you have 2 bucket, a second bucket that goes with it, you filter into the 1 bucket and you're good. Or if they have their water is still good wherever you're going at, you get one of those camping water jugs, and that way you go ahead and fill up water at their place, so you don't have to. And if you're taking if you got a camp trailer, you go in there, you make sure you have extra water. If you're camping out in their backyard, you don't want to be going in their house all the time to get a glass of water. You want to have other supplies with you. So think about everything you're going to need. It's just going to be like going camping for 2 weeks or so. Yeah. Think of a 2-week camp out.
It's going to be bad enough when you have to walk in the house at 2 a.m. just to use the bathroom.
Yeah. So you really need to plan out. Seriously, sit down. It may never happen, and I hope it never happens for you. But still, if you, I believe in Murphy's Law Part 2. Murphy's Law Part 1 is if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong at the worst possible moment. Part 2 is if you're prepared for it and you spent all this money on it, it most likely is not going to happen. And
prepare for most everything. You will be prepared for most anything. My motto.
And so if you go ahead and get a plan written up, go through it, practice it, hey, you could adapt it to any other type of evacuation, whether it's an earthquake, chemical release, bugging out because of a red dragon in your neighborhood.
Oh, sorry.
So, plans can, once you have a plan, you can adapt that plan to other emergencies. And once you start adapting, you go, wait a minute, I need to have this one here gave me an idea that I need to go back and add it to the other one.
Hey, I'm studying in Idaho.
Hey, Audra, how's it going? We always try to, and let me throw that up here. Good point. Exactly. All right. This is your emergency. I got to get the heck out of Dodge.
It's oh crap, here comes the fire. I got to run back.
Yes, exactly. I am coming back, but I'm getting out of here now because I ain't gonna have time to stick around. And it's like, I need this, I need that. No, I don't need that. And this is a grab. Yeah, that's a grab and go stuff.
Right. And there's been many instances in the last 5 years, especially, that proves that you cannot wait to the last possible second. Look at the dam problem they had out in California. And I mean dam as in physical big concrete thing. That when the floods came through and the dam was close to bursting and they made mandatory evacuations.
Yeah, they evacuated the city of Oroville.
Right. Oroville Dam. And people sat there and waited until it became mandatory. When they suggested it, people sat on their butts and did absolutely nothing. Hey, Kathy. And when it finally became mandatory, everybody and their sister decided to leave all at once. The roads were backed up. People were running out of gas rating on the road. They didn't have food. They didn't have water. There were people with horse-drawn carriages running around the highway delivering food to people for exorbitant prices.
Yeah.
So don't be the sheeple. Don't be sitting the one in the highway in a traffic jam out of gas because you waited till the last possible second. Hey, Keith. And I've got to go in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I got to get out here in about 10 minutes as well here. All right, so let me throw this up here for you guys. Come on, add to the stream. There we go. Enlarge it here so you can get a better view of it. Okay, the Oroville Dam, what happened was the concrete spillway had a crack in it, and they were having to use the overflow spillway, not the normal chutes they had, and it ate in through.
It actually went through the crack and ate underneath the ground, and carved out a very nasty hole.
Yeah, see that? It ate it out and just actually blew a chunk of the concrete out. And it was
pieces of that concrete that it blew out 25 miles downstream.
Yeah.
Okay. Just think if that dam would have burst. Okay. Those little pieces of concrete they found 25 miles downstream. If that dam burst, they would have found it 250 miles downstream because that dam holds an awful lot of water.
Yeah. And so it was really eating away there. I mean, it was, blowing it out and it was eating. This is just an earthen dam. The only concrete is for the emergency spillway and around the head gates for the normal. And the normal things were wide open, and the floodwaters just kept on coming and kept on coming and kept on coming. And it was, they had all the emergency spillways, everything was open, and yeah.
Are you trying to undermine my authority there, Keith? Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the dam. Yeah, you're right. Undermine.
Yeah. And 1 year later, they were still doing repairs on it. This is a 1 year later, getting it back into shape. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that can cause problems with needing to. That Ryan said,
Undermine.
yeah, the hurricanes.
Yep.
Hey, that would be that. You could have over there on the East Coast. You could have a yeah, okay, there we go. You could have a wildfire going on, and guess what's coming in now? We got a hurricane coming in to put out the wildfire.
I ain't scared, Keith. I ain't scared.
So, guys, you really need to, think outside the box when you're doing your emergency plans, and don't think you just, this never happens here. Why do I need to have this type of plan? Hey, get your everything, all the major ones that will happen in your area. Get those plans done first, then start working on these like the wildfires, tornadoes, and the other stuff that normally don't happen in your area. And of course, unless those are the big ones that happen in your area. Start working on the other ones. And remember, earthquakes happen everywhere in the United States.
Most of them just aren't felt.
Yeah. Well, most of them like to go to California or Alaska.
Hey, there's a party going on out there. Just we ain't invited.
Oh yeah, there's one party going on in Nevada right now. They're still getting 4.7, 4.8 aftershocks from that one.
I'm not going to call them aftershocks. I'm calling them precursors. Because the magma is what's moving underneath Nevada.
Yeah,
that's what's causing all that rumbling.
Well, where that is at is close to Mona Lake, which is geothermal heaven, one of the geothermal heavens for California, and it's not too far from the north end of the Long Valley caldera, which is more devastating than Yellowstone ever thought of being. Ooh, okay, 4.00 again, Idaho last week. Cool. Let me check something. I didn't go.
Kathy, it just takes a long time to fix the kind of damage that was caused. A long time.
Okay. Speaking of earthquake, guys, this is that we're talking about in Nevada. The red dots here
are recent.
Are within the last hour. So there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the last hour. Okay, and then the rest of them, I believe I'm on a 1 day. Yeah, so these are all the orange ones are in the last day. See if I can do to the. This is in the last week.
Yay! Popcorn.
Yeah, buttered popcorn. That includes the 6.5 buried somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right there, 6.5. So pull it back out here. Okay. And let it think. Okay, so Idaho. Let's go look at Idaho. Joe Chalice is getting it up here in Idaho. There's one up in northern Idaho. But yeah, so we got a bunch of 2s here. And 3, 3, 3. Oh, there it is. 4.4. Yeah, so if I pull this out for the US again, one up there. Actually, that's not this one is not in Idaho up here. This one's is Washington. We had today we had a 4 point in Victoria. Yeah, so yeah. Oh, is that Oklahoma? Oh no, Colorado. Oh, Texas had some earthquakes today. Oh, no, not today, this week.
Those are fracking quakes.
Lindsay, Oklahoma, Orland, Trinidad, Colorado. Yeah, there's say earthquakes are always going on.
I'm personally not going to worry about it until they get closer to Missouri.
Yeah.
When Missouri starts feeling it, that means Madrid's waking up. I have nowhere to go, but I'm going to be ready for it.
Yeah. Okay. Homestead, just take the money out of Nancy Pelosi's ice cream slush fund.
Considering some of that crap she buys is like $30 a dang bucket.
Yeah.
And that's a one-person bucket.
Yeah. Yes, Kathy. Going down here to Cuba and the Caribbean. And we have, what was that? That one's down in Colombia. Yeah, there it is. This is gonna get ugly and slow here, guys. Yeah, so there's the world. Oh, yay.
Look at the ring of fire.
Look at all these 5.0s or greater out here. 5.9. Today in Japan, 5.1. Yeah. So this down here, this little group down here is part of the Papua New Guinea region. This one here should be Solomon Islands, Vanuatu. Yes, one of my favorite ones.
There he goes. Then we got problems.
That's what they thought. Everyone in California was thinking. All the police chiefs and stuff. Oh, we're just gonna come over to your house, Gil. Hey, I'm in Idaho now.
They ain't gonna make it.
All righty. So, everyone, check out. If you go back on my channel, back this summer, I had 3 videos. Preparing for emergencies, part 1, 2, and 3. Going a lot more information what I'm going on here. Spreads out exactly how to go about making your plans. This Friday, on the Friday night special, is going to be emergency communications. Going to have some ham radio operators in there. So we're going to talk about ham radio stuff, and I'm hoping Steve will be able to join us from Corsair Trainers and give more information on the Go Tennis, since he actually did the review of it. So,
homesteading in Idaho. For all those people who keep claiming we're in solar grand minimum, they ain't watching the sun very well, because guess what? The sun's waking back up. We're not in the grand minimum. We're going into solar cycle 25. It is not the grand minimum. Please do some research. That's all I ask. Don't take my word for it. I mean, go do the research. You'll see the sun's waking back up. It's not grand minimum right now.
And
now, if we go into a grand minimum, which they are expecting it to happen this century, i.e. next 100 years, yeah, we'll see a lot of issues. But we're not going into grand solar minimum.
Yeah,
and those channels keep saying that are full of crap.
If you want to see some good videos on that by scientists and groups of scientists, suspicious observers, not Ben.
Yes.
Ben.
Ben Davidson.
Yeah, Ben did. Yeah. Has some really good ones talking about the solar cycle. That's his field of expertise. And so if you want to check out his stuff on the solar cycles, and he runs stuff every day showing the effects on his videos every morning. Check him out. So until Friday, then I'll see you all at 8 o'clock Mountain Time on Friday. So everyone, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, and keep your eyes open. And I'm going to steal the line. I'm going to steal the line from Ben Davison. Yeah, eyes open, no fear. All righty. Take care.